Hey, I'm Patrick, president of Twice as Nice Recruiting. We build every search from scratch, offer a 9.9% fee, and have an 18-month guarantee on all of our placements. And with me is Carrie Lee, our vice president of search, who recently just concluded an exciting search, great placement. And Carrie Lee, I appreciate taking some time to chat and tell us a little bit about the client.
Yeah, I'm excited to chat with you about this. So it was a logistics company that has their own fleet of a few thousand trucks, and they were looking for a senior vice president of logistics, and it was actually a confidential search that they brought us into.
Yeah, so confidential, how'd that go?
Yeah, so confidential searches can be tough because sometimes you have to be extra vague with candidates just to make sure they can't figure out who the client is. So that can make it a little bit tough. And then on top of that, we were really going after folks that would require relocation as well. So those were just two things right off the bat that made this one a little bit more interesting.
And how did it go?
Well, what helped is it was really a killer opportunity. So, sometimes we luck out by the fact that the opportunity will really sell itself. And so then we're really just in charge of going out and identifying the right talent. And so we were advertising the role, but we weren't really finding the right candidates. The advertisements just were speaking to too many people that were just not qualified. So we went out to find the candidates that our client would be really excited about. And we just knew that once we got in touch with those people, anyone would say yes to learning more about this opportunity because it was such an awesome one. And so we found a few folks that the client was really excited about, which was fun for us.
So with a senior level role like this, I mean, how long did it take you to go from hearing about what the client's looking for to having the client speaking to the person they ultimately hired?
That's a good question. I don't know if those are stats that you know. I have no idea.
21 days.
Cool. Know that on day 19 is when we shared that person with the client. So I knew we were pretty fast at finding them the winner. I just wasn't sure how long it took them to get in touch with them. So it was fun that it was pretty fast in terms of that initial conversation because they really felt like the person could be a strong fit. But then it did take a little bit of time from that point on because it can be difficult when you're doing more of a higher level search. Those can take a little bit of time to get the internal approval and buy-in and legal parts.
So with the relocation, I think sometimes people are open to relocation. They don't necessarily think about the logistics around it. So what was different about the interview process and the decision-making with relocation on the table?
That's a good question. I think really what we tried to do was to sell the opportunity to the candidate first, right? Get them to read that job description and be a little bit interested in it before we started telling them where this job was. So just trying to get them excited and jazzed about the growth that they could have in their career. And then from there, trying to chat about that relocation. And I think the client did the same thing. And it also involves flying someone out to visit that site. And sometimes it could even mean bringing their family with them to check it out and make sure it's the right spot for them for that stage of their career in life.
Cool. Yeah. And I guess anything that moving forward, you'll think will adjust across the organization based on what we learned or just with how we're going to interact with that client?
Yeah. So I think one of the things that we could really do to make this type of search go more smoothly is if there's anything we can do to try to speed up the process, not speeding up how soon someone is talking with them, but really getting the offer out there and signed in a more timely fashion. Like I mentioned, it can be tough with those high level roles because a lot of different pieces come into it, but some candidates can have second thoughts. And so that always makes me nervous if the process is taking too long. So what really would have made it perfect is if we could have just moved the interview to offer process a little bit faster.
Cool. Well, great work on the search. I appreciate taking the time to chat about it, and I'll look forward to our next case study chat.